Welcome to Midnight Stories, your go-to channel for spine-chilling horror tales that will haunt your nights. Before we dive in, don't forget to like this video. It supports the channel and helps spread these eerie stories to more listeners like you. Thank you for your support, and I hope you enjoy tonight's tale. My name is Everett Clean, and I've spent most of my life in the rugged beauty of Missoula, Montana. What I'm about to share is not just a story. It's an experience that has haunted me for years. It happened just outside the city limits, a chilling encounter that forever changed the way I see the wilderness I once thought I understood so well. As someone who's always embraced the outdoors, hunting, fishing, hiking, you name it, I've done it. Growing up in Montana, it's practically a rite of passage. The untamed landscape demands not only respect but also preparation. I even considered myself a bit of a survivalist, confident in my ability to handle whatever nature threw my way. But nothing could have prepared me for the harrowing events of what started as an ordinary camping trip. Before I delve into those terrifying days, let me paint you a picture of the land I call home. Missoula is surrounded by what locals fondly refer to as Rio Rucut, a testament to the vast, untamed wilderness that defines Montana. Imagine towering forests, so dense they block out the sunlight, mountain ranges that pierce the clouds, and hidden valleys where human footsteps may never have tread. It's a place of breathtaking beauty, but also one of raw, unyielding power. And it was in this remote and unforgiving terrain that my nightmare began. Stay tuned to hear the full story, a tale of survival, fear, and the unknown. The wilderness, it's beautiful, but it's also merciless. I have always prided myself on being prepared. My garage is practically a survivalist dream, packed with top-notch camping gear, state-of-the-art navigation tools, first aid kits that could rival an EMTs, and enough freeze-dried food to outlast a blizzard. Yet, as I would soon learn, no amount of preparation can guarantee safety when nature decides to play its own game. It was late August when my old friend Nolan called. Nolan and I go way back. We met in college. I was neck-deep in environmental science studies, while he was tackling the complexities of a business degree. After graduation, our lives veered in different directions. I stayed in Missoula, working as a park ranger and wilderness guide, while Nolan moved to Seattle to scale the corporate ladder. Despite the distance, we kept in touch. He'd often call me, his voice tinged with stress, venting about the suffocating routine of city life. "Man," he'd say, "I'd give anything to be back in the open air, like we used to in college." One particular evening, his voice carried an unusual urgency. "Ev," he began, the sound distorted slightly through the phone. "I need to get out of this concrete jungle. Remember that secret fishing spot of yours? The one way off the beaten path? Think you could take me there?" I paused, hesitant. The spot he was referring to wasn't just any fishing hole. It was deep, deep, in the backcountry, far from any trails or signs of civilization. Not exactly a casual weekend outing, especially for someone who'd traded outdoor life for corporate boardrooms. "I don't know, Nolan," I replied cautiously. "That place isn't for the faint of heart. It's a long hike, the terrain's brutal, and—" "Come on, man," he interrupted, desperation bleeding into his tone. "I need this. I want the real wilderness. No cell towers, no schedules, just us, the trees, and the fish." His insistence wore me down. Against my better judgment, I agreed. After all, how bad could it be? I knew the area like the back of my hand, and Nolan, while rusty, wasn't a total stranger to the outdoors. What neither of us knew was that this trip would test us in ways we never imagined. No tourist trails, no glamping. The real deal. That's what Nolan wanted, and against my better judgment, I agreed. Maybe it was the pleading in his voice, or maybe my own nostalgia for those carefree college days, but I couldn't say no. "All right," I told him, "but you better be ready for some serious hiking. This isn't a walk in the park." For the next few weeks, we planned meticulously. I sent Nolan a detailed list of essential gear, everything from hiking boots to water filters, and made sure he was up to date on his vaccinations. Over video calls, I gave him crash courses in wilderness survival, fire starting, basic navigation, dealing with wildlife. To his credit, Nolan was eager, soaking up every word. Still, I couldn't shake the feeling that he didn't fully grasp what he was getting into. The day before we left, I double-checked my own gear. Tent, sleeping bags, water purification system, first aid kit, emergency beacon, bear spray. It was all accounted for. I even packed my trusty hunting rifle. It wasn't hunting season, but in the deep wilderness, having some extra protection can mean the difference between life and death. As I zipped up my pack, my wife, Laura, appeared in the garage doorway. She's always been supportive of my outdoor adventures, but I could see the unease in her eyes. "You sure about this, Ev?" she asked, leaning against the frame. "Taking Nolan out there? He's not exactly outdoorsy." I nodded, understanding her concern. "I know, but he needs this. And hey, it'll do him good to get some dirt under his fingernails for once." Laura tried to smile, but it didn't quite reach her eyes. "Just be careful, okay? That area you're going to, it's pretty remote." "As always am," I reassured her, pulling her into a hug. "We'll be back before you know it, with plenty of fish and stories to share." But even as I said it, a small knot of unease tightened in my gut. Something about her tone, her concern, felt heavier than usual. If only I had listened to that instinct, to the nagging feeling in the pit of my stomach. Hindsight, as they say, is 20/20.